What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Another stream. Today a little bit late. Had some things to do, so a little bit later than usual. Usually at 7 p.m. Today is already 7:40. So today we are going to be looking at non-farm payroll. Like, let's try to identify opportunities in the market for tomorrow. NFP. Today it was a little bit of a correction day. We talked about that as well, just similar to, I think, to the week before, where we had just price moving in one direction. Eventually we're going to have some retracement, like, and that's basically what happened in here. We had 2-3 days in a row where price was just moving in one direction, and today it was a day where we had a little bit of a correction. Started yesterday, to be honest, after the services PMI news, but now we actually had today a little bit of a confirmation, and now price already correcting again, right? Basically, it's exactly within the range that we talked about yesterday. We draw this rectangle, a little bit within this structure on dollar index, and that's exactly where price moved towards. So, right? That was the initial space available that we could see. There was already a slight break to the upside yesterday, and price started to move in there, and there you go. That's where we were. Today, in terms of news, we had what did we have today, right? So we had, of course, unemployment claims, if not mistaken. What is it called? Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, unemployment claims. Again, it's still within the same range. After so many months, it's still within the same range, between 220 to 240, something like that. But most importantly, we had the interest rate decision in the UK, which, as expected, we had the rate cut of 25 basis points, and the market actually reacted quite aggressively. We identified those opportunities, especially on the euro pound. The euro pound went to the upside. We talked about that one on Monday. It was one of the setups that we talked about in the stream, and one of the setups that it was more clear and kind of an A+ setup based on where price was reacting, based on the previous movement that the euro pound was doing in the last few days, approaching this demand zone in compression, and then slowly it started accumulating some orders, and today it was basically that last push that finally closed the gap as well, right? The gap created over the weekend. The main difference is that everyone was in agreement with the cut. There was no one that disagreed with the decision. Everyone was in agreement, and that's important as well. Maybe that's the reason why we had such an initial big move. And then, of course, as always, usually the pound, anytime there is a big move during the rate cuts or this decision from the Bank of England, usually there's a correction afterwards, and that's exactly what happened. And in reality, Governor Bev is still going to speak at 9 p.m. I'm not really sure what is that about. And then tomorrow, as we know, we are going to have NFP, both in the US and in Canada. All right, so let's take a look into the market. Just one point, like, apparently the market's expecting 169,000 to be the number. Last month it was actually quite high at 256. As usually, let's see if you are not going to have this number being corrected, as it has been routine. Basically, every single month we had a correction of the previous month, as you can see here, all the adjustments. So we'll see if that's going to happen or not. But this is going to be the expectation, 169. We'll see what's going to happen at looking to keep the rate at 4.1. Still quite low. And this is going to be one of those situations where is it going to be good news as good news, or the market's going to look at good news, bad news, good news. Because basically what the market wants is for the Fed to cut rates. Not just the market, even Trump wants that. However, the Fed chair Powell has been quite clear in the sense that without uncertainty, with tariffs, with the new policies that Trump is going to implement, there's a lot of uncertainty at this point in the market, and the Fed chair Powell is in no rush whatsoever to start cutting rates again, and that's why at this point we only have around 2 rate cuts predicted in 2025, being the first one around June, July. So we'll see if that's going to happen or not. However, if the unemployment continues to be steady as it is right now, there is actually no rush whatsoever for the Fed chair Powell to cut rates. And that actually can be a concern, which can flip a little bit, because if the inflation actually starts increasing, of course, the tariffs, as we know, they have been postponed again for another 30 days in Canada, Mexico. We'll see Maybe the odds are not going in that direction, but maybe we can even have a hike instead of a cut in the rate cuts. Who knows, right? But most importantly, then the employment and the NFP, if it continues to be steady, if it continues to be lower, the unemployment rate, I don't think the Fed has any rush or the Fed chair Powell has any rush to start cutting rates. So that's one of the main things that we need to pay attention to at this point, and that's basically the information that we need to take from the data tomorrow. So looking at the market, right? So starting with dollar index as usually. Again, guys, if you do have any charts whatsoever that you like me to pay attention to, just let me know in the comments, and yeah, I'll be happy to analyze them with you. Also share with me what is your prediction for tomorrow, what you are expecting from the NFP. Are you bullish, bearish on the dollar? The US indices apparently at the end of the session now is moving to the downside. We'll take a look at it in a bit. So dollar index, it continues to be within the same range. Okay, so basically we had this structure in here, and that's exactly what we predicted kind of since the last couple of weeks, since I started the stream, since Monday. And there you go. We had this initial reaction. There was definitely this left shoulder still in here, where basically price ended up reacting and now moving to the upside, respecting that level in there. There is a possibility that maybe price can even go slightly into this level to find some sell orders and push the downside. But again, to actually become properly bearish in here, I would like to see this low being taken. So that will be one of the things that I would like to see. I would like to see this low being taken in here. If that happens, then I may turn more bearish, and then I could see dollar index just feeling all this compression in here and starting to aim towards these lows at around this level 106, something like that. If price by any chance starts breaking to the upside, maybe there's a chance that price can still hold, even though I can still see some kind of reaction from this level in here, as price may create something like that. It could happen as well. At this point, what we have is a little bit of a double top situation. On 1 hour time frame, I think people can look at this and see a little bit of this structure, unless people are already concerned that this is a break of a high. Not really sure about that. Yeah, if people are starting to look at the traders, starting to look at this like that, expecting a continuation here, then the opposite can happen, right? You can then use this structure, and then when price comes back into here, you may actually have a selling opportunity in here. At this point, we may go below that level as well. So you may go slightly below those lows if there's still anything in here that price can use, or it can even go slightly lower as well into a little bit more this level in there. So we'll see what's going to happen, especially for tomorrow morning. It's one of those situations, at least for me, where it looks like that price, yes, is a little bit at the edge of these lows or close to this extreme. But yeah, it's not my favorite level to look for long, especially after price actually respected this double top, basically perfectly the edge of this level. Because price actually did that, I'm not entirely super happy to look for longs at around this structure. If it works, it works, but I'm not that bullish. I could see perhaps that this one is maybe the play, is that we actually managed to break below, and maybe this is the engulf down, even though we respected perfectly that level. But if price actually respects this zone in here, like it did, it makes it a bit more bearish, perhaps for price to start moving to the downside. So yeah, we'll see what's going to happen at around this level. Again, I think I mentioned that yesterday. If you do manage to break slightly below that level, then perhaps you could have some kind of reaction and go again. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what's going to happen in here. Let me know, guys, your opinion as well. I'm going to take a look into the euro dollar and the pound dollar in a bit. Now let's take a look at the US indices. So was it Amazon today? Maybe Amazon today announced their earnings. Is it Amazon? Second. Really sure why price is just moving like it is. I don't even have Amazon in here. I don't have Amazon in here. Yeah, Thursday. It's going to be today. It's going to be in a bit. Interesting. 1 second. Yeah, this to the watch list. All right, yeah, Amazon. So maybe there's a little bit of a move later on, still on the indices, but for now, perfectly, it actually just closed the gap again. This is again a good exercise that everyone can start doing. Like, it's trying to understand where are the extremes, where are the edges of these ranges that price eventually is going to, or there is a high probability that the price wants to fill, because that's going to help you to identify targets in the market. So that's again, that's a good exercise, and you can see it, right? Price goes, react. The dollar index situation in here, that was basically the level that you marked yesterday. It's exactly where price actually ended up going to in here, right? And then I also try to understand the information that price is giving you, if it respects or if it breaks that level as well. So yeah, this is exactly what we have in here. Again, this is another level that we're looking for in here. If you guys recall, since the beginning of the week, basically we're looking for this S&P first and foremost to close the gap, and secondly to go back into this level and starting to look for some bearish price action. So we start having exactly that today. In my opinion, price may have missed a little bit the zone that I was looking for, so I never really managed to get a short in here, but we did manage to get that that break of a low, and then you had the fake out, right? So the structure is actually the structure, it was actually there. It was engulfed down, and then small fake out, and then price coming back into this left shoulder and going. But I actually like to see this pattern once price actually reacts from a level that I like. And in this case, price may have missed it by a little bit, the zone that I was looking for. Just take a look into that in here. Yeah, price still respected, may have respected this supply level, which is okay, but I was looking for price to go already into the next structure, into that zone in here, to actually take out these highs in there, which never really happened, at least at this point. And there you go. Yeah, price just respected the other zone in there. But overall, kind of the reversal pattern that you usually look for, it play out really nicely, and as you can see in here, perfect reaction to fill out this range into that extreme in there. Really good. Even all the price action here we talked about a little bit yesterday here, then of course the supply level never really respected price downside, so it was worked as a long. The bias continues the same, so we are going to still try to track to see how price eventually is going to react closer to these highs. So I still want now price to use all this structure in here, pick out that level, and then you'll see what's going to happen. Now it's interesting that price came all the way back into this level, so basically it's collecting the orders at this point. It's collecting every single demand, but I haven't really seen a proper engulf to downside. For example, yes, breaking below that structure, now it will be opening a little bit, potentially a move to downside, and then eventually that move to that door that opens can actually be all the way through towards to the next level. Right, so that will be something that could happen, but at this point we don't really have that just yet. But yes, I'm going to be paying attention to see how price is going to react around this level, and then to see if there's an opportunity. And now maybe these highs in here are actually going to become the left shoulders of this potential move if price kind of goes a little bit like this, and then potentially reacting from here and going. So yeah, we'll see what's going to happen in here on the S&P. Nasdaq, I believe it's a little bit more of the same. Again, you're looking for price initially around this level. Again, there was a little bit of that reaction, a little bit underneath once again, and then price getting closer to the next supply. And then there's even the chance that price can even go a little bit higher and taking maybe this high into the next zone in there. But so far it looks really similar to the S&P level, where price actually reacted in there, start going down. Again, we still have this range in here, which price keeps respecting it, respected this low, go up, respected still this low, and now is moving slightly higher again. So again, it's still missing this break of a low. It's missing this break of a low, and that's something that I want to keep an eye on, to see if there's a possibility to then even sell closer to this highs in here. Yeah, so maybe tomorrow with the NFP, who knows, something to keep an eye on. Dow actually had a really good reaction. It came all the way to the extreme. It went all the way to the extreme of this move. So it fake out still a little bit of these two weeks all the way into into that level, it created a double top situation, and then it basically just filled out the range again. Like it was basically all of this coming back into the next structure, which was literally in here. Everything in here, it moved quite aggressively to the upside, compressing on the lower time frame, and then goes. As soon as it breaks this level, it starts opening the door for a bigger move in here. And now we'll see what's going to happen from around this level in there. Yeah, depending maybe on the server that you're looking for. In here, there was no break to the downside. Maybe in other ones, there was actually a break of a low. It depends. And then we have DAX, which we talked about this one as well. So this was one of the setups that could have happened, but never really did, which was just, again, go up, down, and continue, respecting the structure. So that never really happened. Price just continued to go to the upside, which means that this is a potential target for the future. And then we talked about this specific level where there were many highs in here in alignment, which means that there was a high probability that price actually eventually will take those highs. And that's what happened. So price went through, and this is a little bit of the next structure that price can eventually go react and continue to push to the upside, potentially to fake out these lows in here. So that's an opportunity to pay attention as a selling opportunity in here. Again, this is exactly the type of setup that I mentioned in my video on how to trade all-time highs, which is that initial trade that we can have as soon as price breaks is the expectation of potentially further test to the previous highs or the previous all-time high, which means that there is an opportunity perhaps to look for a sell to try to catch that move. Now, sometimes the move doesn't really happen straight away. Sometimes the move looks like it's happening, but no, it's going to go higher a little bit more, and only afterwards you may have that move. So that's something that I'll be looking for. Now, price may react from this demand zone. So actually price could do something like this. It goes in here, respect one more time, tries to go higher again, fakes out all this structure in here, and only afterwards then we can go and finally push into something in here, which then can be used as a continuation to the upside. Again, it's almost rinse and repeat this type of moves that happen at around this structure. Yeah, so that's definitely something to keep an eye on in here on the DAX, and another alert in there once it breaks. Looking at crypto, it just continues to move a little bit more to the downside, so it respected perfectly this supply level with a little bit of a Quasimodo in there. Is respecting also this demand zone. You're looking for price to go a little bit more to the downside, to be honest, and then we'll see what's going to happen. At this point, maybe getting a little bit closer into here, and then we'll see. So that's going to be one to keep an eye on. Now it's a little bit in the middle. It's been super volatile, and yeah, it's just one to keep an eye on. As long as it kind of keeps holding this 90,000, then there's always some buying pressure at around here. If it starts breaking below that, then there is a little bit more room to the downside. Ethereum is holding a little bit more as well. We don't have all this structure, so that's something also to pay attention. And Solana a little bit more bearish in here, so we'll see also price may react from around this structure in here. Basically price is just it's just moving to the downside, respecting previous highs. All right, beautiful. Yeah, let me know, guys, what is your take and what you are looking for as well for tomorrow. The yen pairs, it's an interesting one. So there you go. Yen index just continued. This is exactly what we were looking for as well. We talked about this level yesterday or on Tuesday, that this could be definitely the level to continue after breaking these highs, go up, come all the way back to the demand zone and push. And that's exactly what we have. Basically, the other yen pairs, the individual yen pairs actually, they are moving down. And then you're looking for price to target this level in here. So that's a little bit of the levels in here on the yen index that you're looking for, with the possibility still to go even much higher. Because if you're actually looking for a range, if you're looking for a range, maybe maybe we are actually trading all the way this structure here. And this move up, it was maybe a break of something in there, and this is just a retest of the double bottom with the expectation to bring price now back into here. Right, that's a typical move as well that we see. So this level here may not be the best zone to actually look for shorts. When you're looking where price is actually coming from, and that's one of the questions that I always ask: where is actually price coming from, and then where it wants to go, and where it is at the moment. But where price is coming from is actually respecting perfectly this double bottom in here, and initially this was already an attempt to go higher. Price then never really managed to break below it, so it respected the structure, and the expectation now is eventually to actually break this high altogether. So that's something to keep an eye on. Now, that doesn't mean this is a bigger picture move. That doesn't mean that in the lower time frame we don't find some selling pressure closer to these highs before eventually price moves higher. Okay, so that's something to bear in mind in here. Potentially price can actually hold a little bit, move a little bit more to the downside, maybe retest something of this structure before actually moving to moving even higher afterwards. So yeah, just something to keep an eye on. As you can see, it's quite bullish. Looking at the daily time frame in here, it's already 1, 2, 3, basically 3 days in a row just moving to the upside. Even if you're looking at weekly, yeah, it's another week really strong with a really strong momentum. Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting one. Do have that structure started on the monthly time frame. Yeah, that can be an interesting one on the monthly. And for now, yeah, perhaps taking one of these two highs. We need to look left somewhere in here, try to see what's going on, if everything in here has been compressed or not, or if this wave is actually still potentially fresh. We need to see, like, maybe there's something in here. But this is one of those settings that TradingView could implement. Is when you do change time frame for price to stay where it was before. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, but we may have some selling pressure at around that level, so we are getting really close in there. Yeah, that's going to be something to keep an eye on. Yeah, aside from that, just a really strong move to the upside in here. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Kind of respecting the lows as well on the way up, so that's interesting. This is maybe one of the first ones that's been slightly broken, but because price just came all the way to respect this structure in here. Aside from that, again, this one is already been respected as well. Respect that one as well, and then yeah, that starts to go way more than that. Yeah, so that's going to be one that I'll be looking at it, because usually the end pairs as well, that just doesn't move in a straight line. There's been a few days, so maybe that's going to be an opportunity to look for tomorrow morning, a little bit of a correction on the end pairs. And then the euro index, sorry, is just in the range in here today. There's literally nothing going on in here. So yeah, let's take a look at the individual currency pairs. Yeah, it's been a long day, guys. Yeah, so let me know in the comments if you do find the stream beneficial, if you do like the pre-market analysis, if you do your own pre-market analysis for tomorrow, for the day after, if you'd like to plan your trades, your setups, your ideas ahead or not. And if you do find beneficial anytime you do it, like if you actually measured and compared when you do your pre-market analysis versus when you don't, and try to see your performance. Of course, don't just do it one day, try to compare. Track a little bit of a certain period of time, like a couple of weeks, like 2 weeks doing it, 2 weeks not doing it. And then you can compare and start noticing the benefits of it. Same thing with journaling. Like, do you journal your trades? Yes or no? Just compare it. Even though journaling takes maybe a little bit more time to actually see the actual results. One of the most common mistakes yesterday, I was talking with someone. It's exactly that. I mentioned that He did journal back in November, and like he's been journaling for 2 months up until November, where he actually had his best trading month for the last 2 years, and for some reason then he stopped journaling, and as a consequence, of course, the performance starts not being so great. And it's a pattern that we see many times with many traders. Unfortunately, they stop doing what take them to a certain level, just because they start having some profit, some success, green days in a certain period of time. They forget about it, and then of course there's no surprise that then the performance is not going to be the same. So this is $0. It respected that structure. That's kind of a daily level in here. And then this was the next one as well. Basically, that's one of that we marked as an important swap zone in here. It's basically where the gap started, or that was the closing from last week. We reacted quite nicely from that level. So no surprise that we would have some kind of reaction on the way back in here. It's a bit in the middle. I'm not really enthusiastic with where the euro is. For example, if we compare the euro with the dollar index is already reacting from this level, which is basically that high created on the 27th of November. On the dollar index going to be a low. So there's a little bit of a big difference between where the dollar index is and where the euro dollar is. Euro dollar is in the middle. Dollar index is at the extreme. So by any chance, if the euro dollar still wants to go all the way until there, that means that the dollar index will need to break the lows. If the dollar index is already ready to go upwards, then the euro dollar most likely is just going to keep respecting the structure and is going to go to downside from here. So again, question mark is this the high already in place, or should we be looking for something else before potentially move to the downside, or is just a continuation of from here and price continue to the upside? It's one of those. It's in the middle. I don't really have a take at this point. And I do like when I get into or closer to this big news of NFP and CPIs and stuff like that, I like to have a clear bias, or at least see price closer to the extreme, but an extreme that makes sense to me that price is going to be respected. For example, this would have been great in here. Like this was actually last week, I was looking for this level in here. If price will move there during the maybe FOMC or the ECB. It didn't. It went there just with the opening over the weekend in there, because that was literally a perfect fresh level. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see on the euro dollar, to be honest. Don't really have a take at this point. We'll see. Pound dollar. Pound dollar reacted really nicely. So you talked about that one as well. So initially we even mentioned that this one in here kind of missed a little bit the extreme, and it's true. She respected that level and really got into the next one. And then today with the Bank of England, we mentioned that part as well yesterday. This is important as well to help you with your own edge, right? For example, if you were interested in trading euro dollar or pound dollar today, or even starting from yesterday, it will make completely more sense to actually trade the pound dollar, just because you could already anticipate the bigger volatility or the higher volatility because of the Bank of England, while the euro dollar most likely in these days actually tends to range a little bit because you have the movement on the euro pound. So the euro pound is one moving, the pound dollar is one moving, which means that the euro dollar tends to then just range a little bit without big moves. So that's exactly what happened here, right? The same thing with all the pound pairs, pound CAD, pound Aussie, and so on. So that's another way to actually take advantage, because the goal is try to see where is the edge, where is the movement, because that's what you want to be involved in. You don't want to be involved when price doesn't, on the assets that price doesn't move. So it's important actually to identify those opportunities, and you can do that beforehand. Like you said, you can start actually creating and prepare for a setup because of that. That's part of an edge. That's part of your edge, and you should be aware of it. So yes, in here we did manage to break below that structure, which may lead into a more bearish move into potentially this level in here. So that's nice. We did manage to break slightly some structure in here. Price just respected that level. Price reacted really nicely from that extreme. So we'll see. We'll see now if price does want to come back a little bit into this level again and go. We do have now this potentially left shoulder in there. Is this a break of structure? That's the question. Breaking this high, is this a break to the upside, or breaking this high, which is actually basically the last high that created this push downside, is that actually the level that will show more bullishness, which means that even this high breaking that high, it doesn't really mean bullish. It just means that price just went to the extreme, that was still fresh, and potentially price can just resume the move to the downside after actually breaking this level. So that's a little bit of the spaces that we are looking in here on the pound dollar. I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if price actually starts moving a little bit more to the downside. That will mean, again, dollar maybe to move a little bit higher. But it's definitely something to keep an eye on. And I would like to see price actually going slightly higher, but we definitely can create maybe some structure at around this level in here. So that's one to keep an eye on. Yeah, again, of course, it's in the middle at this point. And then you had euro pound, which there you go. Great move. Again, respected all those months. Again, I hate these weeks. This candle, sorry. Yeah, it's exactly the same as this one. Like this euro pound pairs, which you make the movement always with that closing candle. Nevertheless, we did manage to break or to close the gap, something that we were looking for. So reacting a little bit from the next structure in there. So we'll see what's going to happen afterwards. At this point. We have internet. No, I don't think I have. I think I logged out. Yes. Yeah, I think just give me a second. I have to change the server to log in actually. Weird. Oh, nevertheless, I think I just lost connection now, so it's going to analyze the market like it is. Hopefully there is not a big difference. All right. Aussie dollar, yeah, it's everything basically the same. So yeah, Aussie dollar also respected a little bit of structure, then it respected this one in here that we were also talking about, and now it's moving to the upside. So there's not exactly a break to the downside. Potentially we can have this Aussie dollar moving even more, even higher. Yeah, we do have those red shoulders. Again, this one could be seen as an eagle to downside, and we talked already about that potentially price may won't even go higher than this level. So yeah, it's important to start creating some structure in here, because that's eventually where price can also use as a continuation, if that's the point, even after breaking the highs. So we need to see some structure, right? Initially maybe as a sell that eventually can become from resistance towards a support zone in here. If you start breaking these lows, then yeah, everything changes. Same story goes to New Zealand, which also respected kind of that structure with the potential still to go over there. I think that's a little bit more of the take I'm looking for. Yeah, this is just weird. Yeah, still respecting this structure in there. Euro Aussie, yeah, just continues to go as Aussie continues to go higher. Euro Aussie just continues to push a little bit more to the downside. So it's slowly in a really strong compression in here, really slowly going down. Imagine that you have sold every single retracement in here. That would be, yeah, that was basically possible. It would be hilarious if someone did that. It would be actually quite hilarious if someone had been selling every single retracement in there. But yeah, expectation for price to continue to push a little bit forward, which means that maybe Aussie dollar can continue to push a little bit more to the upside. That goes almost to the same conversation with Pound Aussie, even though Pound Aussie, because of the news, actually had that bigger move. So managed to break that, goes and now pushing a little bit more into this next structure in here. As you can feel all this compression here after the break of the low, respected that structure, boom. It's everything compressed, so there was nothing in here to hold price down. So price just failed to push forward quite aggressively, and now we are back into this next structure in there. So we will see. Price definitely needs to break above that level into then potentially go into the next zone in there. Looking at yeah, LZN just continues. That's respecting in there and then pushing down. We'll see what's going to happen as well with the yen pairs. Dollar yen just continues to push a little bit more to the downside. Again, with that big push up on the yen index, then a dollar yen just continues to push forward, and I'm curious to see how price may react from here. That's potentially also that one opportunity on the yen pairs if the yen index actually respects that level at the highs and potentially starts moving lower. So that's yeah, that's a little bit more of what I'm going to be paying attention to eventually for price to take this low. Euro yen. The euro yen approached an interesting level. So it's approaching this daily zone in here. Basically, it's still fresh. That respected that level, basically made this push upwards in here. Didn't really manage to break any important structure in there, so potentially price can even continue to push forward. But in here, it was maybe a good opportunity to look for some kind of reaction. Do have that zone as well in there next. So yeah, after so many days pushing to the downside, to be about time that the yen pairs again are going to find some buy pressure, some resistance, some support, sorry, and this is basically one of the levels. So I'm going to be looking to see how price may react from here. We haven't really had any proper break of a high just yet, so maybe you can have that price action being created, and then potentially a new fake out of the low before a move further up. Pound yen moved much lower, came all the way back into this structure. So it was somewhere in here, just made all the push into the next low. And again, this looks like also as an engulf to the downside. Let's prove that one. Come all the way, respected the extreme. Already retested that level once and now got all the way through to the extreme of it. I think it's just to eventually continue to push a bit more to the downside. For now, we need to pay attention to see how price may react from here. That one we already saw it. Dollar CAD, it's basically what we're looking for as well. Come on, which is, yeah, price still respecting that low and now fake out that level. Like we talked about this, potential price could create some range in here. That price could fake out and eventually push lower. It's kind of what it's doing. It could have gone definitely still a little bit towards more into this structure, which never did. We'll see how price may react from here, but overall, I believe that that this one is more with a tendency to move further down. Pound CAD. Yeah, great, right? Beautiful move. It broke below these lows, retested that level, and it just pushed to the downside. Now broke into this compression here, which means that there is a potential of filling out this space into, yeah, maybe a good reaction from here first. But yeah, most of it has been compressed in there. It means that eventually this pound CAD can go all the way back into this structure. Sorry, and this is already an move to downside, so that's basically the pattern that we talked about in the bigger time frame. This could be the play in place. Really nice move. EuroCAD, of course, moved less than the pound CAD, but is still also going and continue to push a bit more into the lower time frame, which eventually can start targeting these lows in here. Yeah, so we'll see. Our franc Swiss. Yeah, dollar franc Swiss also respected. It's similar to the euro dollar, to the pound dollar, sorry, to dollar index. So respected some structure in there and pushed a little bit more to the upside. So it took this high in here, but never really managed to take that the other one. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see. Price basically reversed there overnight. Who knows? Perhaps there's still an opportunity in there for something. Gold corrected a little bit. We talked about that one as well yesterday. Basically, price was already kind of breaking. It already created that pattern in here. So, yep, it broke down, back out, and yeah, and it moved. Just continue to break the lows, came back into this, and the rest is history. So eventually, could come back a little bit into retesting some structure here. But eventually it's going to continue to create new all-time highs. A lot of this has been compressed now, so this one already took that one. This one looks like that one. This one maybe already done in there as well. So either price basically respects something in here and push lower again, or the price starts coming into this level, then yeah, perhaps we can have definitely a new high being created. Yeah, unless there's something really small in there. Looking at the extremes, there's maybe something in here. I want to cover this one as well. I want to cover that one as well. So yeah, perhaps there's still that level in there to look for. Aside from that, great reaction. Yeah, price is moving. So, and now even managed to break another low in there. Yeah, nice reaction on gold. Again, it's not easy to sell all-time highs, but overall good reaction. And oil just continues to push lower. We have been talking about that. Yeah, it was a good reaction from there, but overall the tendency is going to be, or to continue to look for oil to push lower again. Since Trump mentioned that he wants to push the price of oil to the downside or push it lower, basically price has been just moving to the downside. That was around the inauguration date, around the 20, and there you go. Basically price has been just moving lower. Yeah, interesting. So we'll see how price eventually is going to react when it comes back into this 70s or below 70. Again, it's another one that has been bearish for quite a long time. Yes, maybe somewhere around here, something around this structure. It's going to be the zone. Who knows? Already have a little bit of this move, maybe into that one. The price is reacting right now. Yeah, we'll see. I'll continue to track it until I do find that price action for a reversal. Yeah, that's basically it. That's basically it for tomorrow. US indices. I want to see how price is going to react closer to the highs. So that's definitely I want to keep an eye on. The N pairs. The N pairs, I'm also curious to see how price may react from this level after such a big bullish momentum for the last since the beginning of the year, basically. Now that you are approaching that high, also the minor yen pairs, euro yen, and so on. Even dollar yen with a little bit more of a push downside, getting closer to those lows. So we may have a reaction in there. Dollar index, we'll see. We are within this structure. I'm not the biggest fan to look for a long from here, to be honest. But at this point, not really looking to short neither because we are so close to the lows. So it's a tricky one, which goes into also $, pound dollar, and so on. Not really sure. Yeah, but the indices, that's something that I want to keep an eye on to see how price may react from this and from these highs, and if there is an opportunity to potentially short from there. Even with the dollar and even with the DAX that also created a new all-time high in there. Yeah, so dollar index, the US indices, the yen pairs, oil to keep an eye on. Yeah, we'll see. That's basically it. So yeah, guys, let me know again in the comments what are you looking for tomorrow on the NFP. Otherwise, I'll see you on Sunday for the weekly market analysis. So I'm going to be back with that one as well. So feel free to join. It's going to be more of a higher time frame, prepare for the week. Of course, going to review what happened with the NFP as well. So thank you very much, guys. I'll see you on Sunday. Good luck for tomorrow and manage your risk accordingly. Thank you, guys. Bye bye. Obrigado.